different ways to play half guard, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what's considered a safe defensive half guard and what's not. Okay. So normally from the half guard position, my only goal largely is to be able to put the person back into the closed guard, right? Or to be able to start climbing out and going to their back, right? And possibly maybe standing up. But those 2 or 3 pathways are kind of the basics, right? If I want to play from the closed guard, I'll abandon half guard and go right to it. But if I want to attack from the closed guard, then the placement of my hands and feet is very, very important. So each one of my limbs has to be doing something, has to be doing a job. When I'm in the half guard, I never want to be flat like this. And I always want to make sure that Akshay can't hug my neck or flatten me out in any way. So not with this arm, because if you hug with this arm, go ahead, you actually expose your back, right? Okay. But if you hug with this arm, you flatten me out completely, and I can't go to your back on this side, right? So number one is don't allow, they call this the crossface, don't allow the crossface. I'm 100% determined to never allow this person to hug my neck, especially if it's someone much bigger than myself, right? You can hold the wrist, you can grab the sleeve, you can double up and block the bicep, whatever allows you to keep this arm away from your head or even away from your collar, because even this grip right here, if he lifts up on that collar, can start to flatten me. See that? So I want to make sure that there's no connection with his outside hand. All right, that's number one. Number two, the placement of my knee right now is pretty low on his hip. I don't really like to keep my knee this low in reality because it's very easy for him to weave this hand through, go through, and then over my bottom knee. And now sprawl back and drop your chest heavy and then run around my legs. Yes. Yes. Sorry. No punches, no punches. So I keep my knee nice and wide from this position. So go through to the same thing, clasp my legs down. Very difficult, right? And in fact, the more he tries, the more he gives me my underhook, right? So 1 is block the bicep. 2 is keep my knees somewhat wide, okay? 3 is my bottom foot is always controlling his leg. It's always draped over his leg. I like to actually hook my toes over the ankle and just keep some connection to that leg. It doesn't need to be super tight. I don't need to triangle my leg or even cross my feet. I just need to make sure something's covering that leg, all right? And then lastly, my top arm. My top arm can help reinforce my block of his bicep. It can frame his neck. If he wants to drop his chest on me, I can help support him with my knee and my top arm. I can keep it tight to my chest to avoid his ability to get an underhook on me, and therefore get an underhook on him. So no matter what, my top arm is just sort of like my attacking arm, bottom arm, defense. Okay? Now, from this position, first thing I want to do, okay? I can do this a couple different ways. What I like to do is reach through and get a belt grip, if I can. Okay? So I'm kicking my knee through, I'm grabbing his belt. My inside arm is going to dive under his thigh. Okay? So I have the belt, I have the thigh. Last thing I need to do the sweep that I want to do is I need to be able to hook this foot in front of his hip. Alright? So we call this half butterfly guard, I guess you could call it, there's a lot of different names. But once I have 1, 2, and this hook being 3, now I can take my right foot to the mat and start scooting myself under Akshay. See the little scoots? Little scoots. Now from here, of course, if he loses his base completely, I can probably just get up. If he kind of posts his legs out, which a lot of people will do for me just to stay on their feet, then I'll go into the full X guard here. Okay? So all I want us to focus on right now is the entry into the X guard. We'll go over a couple sweeps at the end, but for right now, getting there is the hardest part. Okay? So we're here and here, try to hug my head a little bit. This arm, right? Make sure you block that neck hug, don't allow it. I shoot, I get the belt grip. This hand dives under and gets the thigh. Okay? If I get the thigh on a side note and he hugs my neck here, this is very bad. I don't want this to happen. And now sprawl this leg back slow. Yeah, see that? I won't be able to load his weight up. So I have to make sure that as soon as I let go of this, my head goes very, very tight to the hip. Get the cross face again? Very tight. Okay? And now from here, the last piece is to get my foot inside. Sometimes you can just circle the foot in. Sometimes you have to scoot back a little bit and insert that hook. Okay? But no matter what, as soon as I get the hook, I'm good to go. And it doesn't really matter what he does to resist me at this point, because even if I can't pull his weight, if he's too big, I can always scoot myself under him. See that? So as I scoot under, I'm loading this leg up and holding the back of my own neck. my other hand goes from holding his belt to pushing him away, all right? Because if he wants to try to put this knee back on the ground, he might be able to kind of reset the position, right? Like put your knee back on the ground over here, hug my neck over here, stretch me out, exactly. I don't want that. So I'm very much throwing his weight away from me as I load this leg up. And then the last piece is my back foot going into the hip, okay? And now from here, it really doesn't matter what he does. There's a lot of different sweeps I can do depending on what he does with his hands, his base, where his weight is, all that good stuff, okay? So with the X guard, just make sure you keep one foot hooking behind the knee, one foot hooks the far hip, and my knees are open. Very important. The arm that hugs the leg is very much keeping his shin as tight to my neck as I can. So I don't really want to just do this. I want to be as close to his shin and his foot as I possibly can. And if he does try to turn to face me, this hand here, plus my legs, can very much keep him off balance, keep him turned away from me. Okay? So I just want us to start with that for now. So I'm going to show you guys solo real quick, just what it would look like on my part, right? So if I'm starting here, top knee is blocking the weight, framing, blocking, okay? I'm going to underhook at the belt. This hand's going to shoot under, get the thigh. This foot is going to hook inside. It doesn't matter what order any of that happens in. I just need those three components. And then once I have that, this foot is going to help scoot me underneath this way. And then once I'm scooting underneath, I'm lifting this hook, pushing with this hand, and loading his leg up until I can hold the back of my neck. And then once we're here, we have the X guard. Make sense? Questions? All right, let's give it a shot. Nice and slow. Grab some in yourself. 1, 2, 3, go. Thanks.